Well, we were protesting originally, called this protest to mark the fact that more British soldiers have died in Afghanistan than have died in the whole of the 6-year war in Iraq. But we're also reflecting the fact that the great majority of the British people, at least 56%, want all the troops to come out before Christmas, out of Afghanistan. So that's why we're here today.
Andrew, what can you tell us about some of the original reasons that we were told we were going to war in Afghanistan that haven't really come true?
Well, I mean, the original reason was supposedly to deal with Al-Qaeda, which is now not based in Afghanistan at all anymore, so that reason has gone. The reasons given now are by the government that we're supporting the government of Afghanistan, which is a completely corrupt, ineffective, undemocratic, run by warlords, or that we need to be in Afghanistan to stop terrorism on the streets of Britain. Well, that's actually the reverse of the case. It is British foreign policy that has stimulated such terrorism as we've suffered from in this country. And anyway, Al-Qaeda's operations are now based from Pakistan, not from Afghanistan at all. So really, to start draining the poison, we need to get the troops out of Afghanistan, give Afghanistan back to the Afghan people to define their own future. And that, in my view, coupled with a full withdrawal of all occupying troops in Iraq, will start to lessen the drive towards terrorism such as it is in the world today.
And Andrew, one of the reasons that we were given all those years ago was the rights of women, and that doesn't seem to have improved much either.
No, well, the government in Afghanistan recently passed legislation authorising rape within marriage. That's the government we are supporting. I mean, that's an outrage. Only a third of girls in Afghanistan are going to school, so there's been no improvement there at all from the position under the Taliban.
And that law was upheld by the Prime Minister,
President Karzai, Western-appointed president. Yes, he upheld that law. So the idea that our troops are dying supporting someone doing that sort of thing is abhorrent to most British people.
In 2008, the war on terror cost Britain £28 billion a month, and now we're hurting so economically at the moment with the financial crisis. Do you think that continuing this war is hurting Britain financially?
Well, clearly it is. It's very expensive. It's draining resources that are desperately needed for other economic and social needs at the moment. So while we've never said the cost of war is the main reason for stopping it, it's the cost in lives that's the main reason for stopping it, there is no economic advantage whatsoever being gained from this, quite the contrary.
And sadly in the last 2 weeks, 15 British soldiers have been killed. Do you think this represents an escalation from the Taliban and shows that Britain doesn't have control?
Well, clearly the Taliban has a very formidable fighting operation, which means it must be rooted in the people to some degree in Afghanistan. They have an ability to sustain these military operations. Obviously, the more troops Britain and America pour into Helmand and the area in the south of the country, the more troops are going to die. And that's a tragedy, and we mourn those losses. The best way to support our troops is to get them home.
And do you think that the general support for the Taliban may have increased in relation to civilian deaths in Afghanistan?
Well, it's bound to have done. I mean, I think Taliban is not just the Taliban now, it is a Pashtun nationalist movement more generally, of which Taliban is only a part. And that is bound to be stimulated by foreign occupation and by the many deaths of civilians, both in Afghanistan and over the border in Pakistan.
And if you had a direct message for Gordon Brown today?
Listen to what the British people are saying, get the troops out before Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.